And we also have a little bit of a play, which wonderful people are doing, even though they're colouring in at the minute. So, before we start, grab a drink, grab some food, and we'll start in about 2 minutes. Go. Not for some reason. Sorry, someone was going to walk away with that food. I think it's bread. Wait a minute, I think everybody should look this way and guess what food Isabel's just been given.
Cake.
No. Next, unless you've overheard me.
Pizza.
No.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Bread.
You knew that. Is it bread or is it chicken?
Bread.
Yay! Did you overhear me?
No.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. Right. Before we start, I think it would be really nice if we have a prayer. Simon, would you like to pray for us, please?
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for food, and for being together, and for fun. And thank you for yourself. Amen.
Amen. Right, today's theme, I was about to say, can anybody guess, but it's probably written on the sheet we were given. Did you see it on the sheet?
I was going to say, was it the fish and the 5 loaves thingy?
Yeah, today's theme is feeding of the 5,000 because I thought it was a great theme. Now this is probably going to be the first praise and picnic, but I was wondering if it would be a really good idea at the end of the summer holidays every year, if it's sunny, to get together and actually share a picnic together and just have a sense of celebrating the fact that we're all part of this village. Would everybody be happy with that?
Sounds like a nice idea.
Good. And I think if we ever get to being on the field, it actually might grow, which is nice. So, feeding of the 5,000. That's a bit daunting, that I think even Anne would struggle to cope with in the catering side of things. And I'm not sure if I could make that many cups of tea. But, to make you think on the idea, we have some questions. Anya?
Hi. Well, we've no one's got any paper, so we're going to do a really quick discussion in your groups, and then we'll go. No, it's encouraged talking. You all have to communicate with each other. We're going to very quickly talk to each other, have an idea, and then come round.
Stand.
Right, I was mid pizza. Right, okay. What's your favourite foods? Discuss.
And why?
And why?
And why?
And why?
How long have they got?
A minute.
You have got 1 minute to discuss.
No? We're going to
I like them.
A favourite food you have for just
Right, favourite food. It's very hard, very difficult. Very good. So, what's your Okay, 5,
That's it.
4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to start over here. Hello. Leave. Favourite food. Go. And why?
mangoes.
Mangoes. Why mangoes?
Because I like them.
That's a great answer then. Is that your answer? How about yourself? Anything to add? Favourite food and why?
My favourite food is anything I don't have to cook myself.
That's good. That's quite fair. Alright. What's your favourite food?
Pizza.
Pizza. That works out well. Do you have a reason why? Yeah, I've never had a lot of these whys go because it tastes nice. So if anyone's got a great reason why, feel free to put your hand up and come to you next. Please go. Sausage and mash, very nice.
Good choice.
And one.
With gravy. With gravy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Add one.
Go around to you next.
Irish stew because it reminds me of home.
Yeah. See, that's the sort of reason why we want people. Something I'm not sure. Yeah. Favourite foods. Pasta. I said pasta as well. It's very.
I like pasta.
Yes. Chicken. Chicken. Chicken nuggets. Very nice. Favourite foods.
Curry, probably.
Curry. Any curry?
All types of curry.
All types of curry. Right. Say curries. Very nice.
Jacob would have the chicken.
Do you have a reason why it was to taste nice? Alright, at the back, any suggestions for favourite foods? Roast potatoes. Roast potatoes.
Oh,
very
good one.
nice.
That's nice. May I ask Kerry?
Kerry, favourite food, you can nominate this.
Quite a few savouries.
I
Yeah.
think pasta's popular one so far.
And there's quite a few savouries.
There is actually, it's good. Oh yeah, that's a good point. We didn't have any sweet.
I think that's actually really
Pretty
cool
good.
that most people said savoury.
Your favourite food implies a main.
A main food.
I'll do sweet.
No, you've done your pizza now. Alright, next question is if you were facing the challenge of feeding 5,000, what would you make? Or what would you bring?
Wait a minute, there's a countdown.
2 minutes.
Talk within your group.
Okay, so what would you feed 5,000 people?
Salad.
the time is. Even when we're indoors, I make time for this.
Crazy dancing.
Crazy dancing. So I need helpers. And by the way, wait a minute. Anybody can guess. Oh no, I put it on the sheets, haven't I? Yeah. Well, as today, a lot of people are eating some fantastic fruits. I thought it'd be really good to sing about the fruits of the spirit. So, first of all, how do you do a cherry? Tom, that means you have to get up and bounce anyway. Okay. How do you do a cherry? Yeah. How do you do a banana? Fantastic. How do you do a watermelon? Watermelon. Thank you. You concentrated. How do you do? What else do we have? Oh, coconut. Lemon. You squeeze your face in. And how do you do a bunch of grapes? You push it together. Does that make sense? Yeah. Good. Get up. Come on. Let's get dancing. You have to burn off the calories so we can eat them again. Anyone not coming out to the board can do behind the table and the doors. Oh, fantastic. The will be coming as well. Me, you come. Okay, you ready? Adults, you don't have to stand up.
Fruit of the spirit's not a coconut. Fruit of the spirit's not a coconut. You wanna be a coconut? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The fruit of the spirit's not a banana. The fruit of the spirit's not a banana. You wanna be a banana? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The fruit of the spirit's not a watermelon. The fruit of the spirit's not a watermelon. You wanna be a watermelon? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The fruit of the spirit's not a dare. The fruit of the spirit's not a dare. You wanna be a dare? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the spirit, because the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The fruit of the spirit's not a cherry. The fruit of the spirit's not a cherry. If you wanna be a cherry, you might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the spirit, because the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Are you ready?
Everybody knows that grapes come in bunches, so everybody get out in bunches. The fruit of the spirit's not a grape. The fruit of the spirit's not a grape. You wanna be a grape? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the spirit, cause the fruit is a love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. The fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control.
Thank you very much.
Logic, could you open the doors?
Okay. Before we move on to our most exciting play, we have to do a little bit of the sensible bit. Who? It's a big reading. Who would do the big reading? I think Neve's good for a big reading. Horrible boys. Yeah, Neve, thank you for volunteering. Who thinks that Neve just volunteered? I'll kind of have you read the smaller bit, okay? But who? No, this is a big bit. Who thinks Neve should do the big reading? Yeah. Perfect. I totally agree. Stand up at the front. Go. Yay! I'm in trouble. Okay.
Which one?
The first one, feeding of the 5,000.
When Jesus heard what had happened, he withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place. Hearing of this, the crowd followed him on foot from the towns. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them and healed their sick. Oh, Jesus had compassion.
Jesus had compassion, he did.
As evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food. Jesus replied, They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat. We have here only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, they answered. Bring them to me, he said, and he directed the people to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looking up to the heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he...
No handling from the back. Carry on, Nick, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. Then he gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate was about 5,000 men, besides women and children.
Thank you so much. That's why I didn't want you read it. It's quite a really long reading. Okay. This is Jesus feeding the 5,000. And one of the things, I think this is one of the most inspiring stories. Because we didn't have Jesus just rising one person from the dead. Because, I mean, couldn't those stories have been bluffed? I mean, how many people saw him rising someone from the dead? Who agrees that could have been bluffed? I know. What other miracles did Jesus say? I know, at the wedding, Jesus turned water into wine. Well, do you think that really happened? Or do you think that people just forgot just how much wine they drank and just believed a good story in the morning? Did that happen? What other miracles did Jesus happen?
He made blind men see again.
Okay, he's starting to make blind people see again. A little bit harder to bluff, but it could have happened. We've all seen magicians, haven't we? You know, maybe the guy wasn't really blind.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit lost. But feeding 5,000 people out of nothing. And by the way, this is 5,000 people, men. That isn't including all the women and all the children. How easy would that be to bluff? I mean, very. I mean, could you really sneak in enough food for, let's say, there's a wife for every man and a couple of children, so we're talking about 2,000 people. How much food would 2,000 people need?
2,000.
More than 2,000.
I mean, not 2,000, 20,000. Sorry, 20,000 people. Maths as well, you wouldn't think I'm a maths teacher. 20,000 people. How much food would 20,000, enough food for 20,000 people be? A lot. A lot. Do you think the disciples could have just snuck that in little bags? You know, it's okay. That's why I love this story. And I thought today, and actually we've done the reverse, we're probably not as many as 5,000 people, but we've all bought a lot of food. So everybody better eat before they go home. Okay, this is what I thought it told me about Jesus. First of all, Jesus' compassion. I mean, Jesus, if you heard there, he'd been out all day. He'd been on his feet. He'd been walking around. It'd been really, really hard. He'd been healing so many people. He'd been preaching, he'd have been teaching, and night fell. What do you think Jesus would have wanted to do? Sleep, I agree. I mean, all those people, the people who were out migrating yesterday, what did you want to do when you went home? Sleep. So, his disciples asked if they could turn the people away home. And Jesus said no, let's feed them. I mean, he must have been really, really tired. But instead of thinking of himself, he thought of the people and their needs. Now, the second thing is that I thought was really interesting is Jesus uses other people to help those around them. He knows he couldn't do everything himself, so he asked other people to go and do things. For example, did Jesus go out and decide himself how to find food for 5,000? Who's the first person he asked? From the story. Neve, you read the story, you must have listened. Okay, Jesus asked his disciple first. And the disciple, first of all, quite rightly said, where are we going to buy food for all these people? Even if we did have the money. Do you think there were huge supermarkets then? No. Do you think you could have a pizza delivery van? Yeah, no, not really. And do you think there'd really be 5,000 people? Well, 20,000 as we worked out. So there was nothing like that. And do you think they would have had the money to pay for it all? No. They didn't work. They lived on what people gave them. But what did the disciples do? Instead of working it out themselves, who did they ask for food?
The boy with the fish.
The boy. They asked a little boy to help them. And only one boy came forward. Out of everybody there, only one boy came forward. And he probably came forward with his lunch that his mum had packed him early that morning. And going, here you go, a bit like today as your mums have all packed food for you. And gone, here. And he gave 5 loaves. Now, I think of the 5 loaves. Do you know those little bread loaves? The little individual ones you can get? I think they've probably been about that size. And 2 little fishes. And this poor boy gave up his lunch and said, here you go. Now, do you think this little boy believed that his little lunch would feed the 5,000 people? No. But Jesus broke it. He gave his blessing, and they handed out the food. And they handed it out, and people ate, and they handed it out, and people ate, and they handed it out, and people ate, and they were left over. Can anybody remember how many bags of food was left? Isabel, I love that you listened, and that's absolutely great. Surely somebody else heard.
No, because I've already read the story.
Okay, put your hand down. How many loaves? Let's have a guess.
5.
More than that. I mean baskets. More than that. More than 5. Nope, even more than 3. It's more than 5. Go. 12. 12. Thank you. Somebody else. Did you read the script as well?
No.
Good. Okay, and we had 12 baskets of food. Oh, don't stop giving away the answers. How amazing is that? Okay, my third is that Jesus is big enough for anything. How many times have we had a problem that we have felt as to be so big, no one can help you? I have. Has anyone else had a problem that big? Yeah. And in the Bible it says bring it to Jesus because he can help. How many times do you think I can't come and give the answer to Jesus because he won't really help? Wow, thank you. Yet this tells us he can, and that he can feed this many people on the fly without thinking. Surely now he's sitting with his Father in heaven, he can help us even more. And my last thing, you'll be glad, is that nothing you face on earth is too big. I mean, feeding all those people, dealing with all those people. And how many do you think, 20,000 people being fed by Jesus, being lovely and full, and all going off, how many people do you think this would have spread out to? This story?
Millions.
50,000 and eventually millions. It's spread across the whole world. And this is how big God is, that no matter, even in worlds where they're being persecuted, or they're being told off for it, or they're being put in prison for it, even then, people can't stop God's word coming out, because it's too big for that. And that's why I think this is amazing, because nothing can stop his story, or his great miracles. However, there was another thing. Does anybody know what happened after this? He calms the storm. And I think this is an amazing story as well. I mean, it might actually have a play on it. Okay, so I need somebody else
Do a song
to...
first.
Huh?
Do a song first.
Okay, we'll do a song
Do you need
first.
somebody else to do what?
What?
What do you need someone else to do?
I was going to get somebody else to read the story. The Bible first.
Oh, okay, not the...
No, the Bible first. Okay, I think we need a little song first. And wait a minute, because the next part is about Jesus calming the storm. Guess, if you haven't looked at the sheet, what else is used when you calm when there's a big storm at sea? What else is used to help them? Have you read?
I could
Who
already
said
guess.
lighthouse? Okay, lighthouse, come on.
I could already guess.
I love this one. It is a good one to guess. Get up. That means you're dancing with me. And Andy. Hi.
Really lighthouse is like the best one.
Yeah, it's okay. Come on up. We're doing here on our girls. I need you. Come on. You need to dance. Does that mean you might
Yeah,
be
this side. I've blocked
dancing?
it. This side.
Okay, right. For those who don't know the action, you at least have to stand up. Adults, you have to stand up and take part. My lighthouse is like that. And like that. And if you don't want to go dancing around, this is when it goes around this, then you just have to go shining in the darkness, okay? You don't want to do that around. And then we have to do swimming strokes, which we will call out, and we will do swimming strokes, won't we? Do you two girls want to go into your problem? So swimming strokes, so we will do front crawl. Do you want to practice your front crawl? Do you want to practice your back crawl? Do you want to practice your back stroke? And you want to practice your doggy stroke. Okay. Oh, driving, girl. Okay, ready? Let's go. Ready. Come on, Riley.
My wrestling in my dance, in my face, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are the peace in my troubled sea.
Okay, that's dancing one.
I'm dancing.
In the silence you won't let go. In the questions your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are my light, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness. I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore.
I think Simon just
a deep voice.
Simon, we need you. Not Simon Peter, Simon.
He's not Peter.
I know he's not Peter, that's why I said not Simon Peter, you're Simon Peter.
I'm the narrator.
You're the narrator.
You're Peter.
You have
Where is Peter?
this key.
Oh, exciting.
This is what comes next.
Am I on camera?
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting. Right. Matthew 14, 22 to 23. Immediately, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After he dismissed them, he went alone to a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it's I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come and walk to you on water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me!" Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You have little faith," he said. "Why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God."
And now over to Anya. And anybody with a pink sticker.
Come on, pink stick people. Right, walking on the water. So, water is miraculous. Don't look so mortified, it's fine. If you want to see evidence of a creator, look no further than water. If it were to behave like virtually any other compound, it would have killed all life on Earth centuries ago. When it freezes, it doesn't contract, it expands. And it doesn't get heavier and sinks, it's sciencey. It floats when frozen. This one property alone means that the life in a lake isn't eviscerated by the coming of winter, or the entire planet permanently covered in ice. Water also has an unusually high surface tension, which means that some insects can walk on it, but not humans, except one. Well, two, As miracles go, Jesus walking on the water is not one, since it's not healing someone or providing for a felt need. And at the time, it would have been creepy. The disciples shriek, "It's a ghost!" But Peter reacts very differently. He says, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water." This is perhaps the oddest moment of the whole scene. I've often wondered what John and the other disciples said about this afterwards. Here is a version of what might have happened. Earlier manuscripts. Hello.
Are you doing science or something with that bit?
Well, I didn't write this, but we can credit them with their science.
Okay, good.
Earlier manuscripts of Matthew's Gospel do not include the following. While Jesus went off to pray alone, the disciples, these guys, sat by the shore of the lake. Peter was drying his clothes.
So, talk me through what just happened. Our Lord walked on water, shaped across the Jordan, or parting the Red Sea.
Is there a bit with Elijah doing something like that?
Maybe if it goes even further to God in the firmament, you know in the beginning.
Why don't you put it in your book, John?
I probably will, but I'm still trying to get my head around what you said to Jesus in the boat now.
You're wondering why I didn't join in with you lot shrieking, "Ah, ghost!"
Wow, are you doing this?
Doing what?
Playing with which disciple looks the most stupid?
Fine, I'll go first. You saw someone who looks exactly like Jesus, who had literally just fed thousands of people with 5 loaves and 2 fish, so the laws of physics basically do not apply, and you concluded that this was a ghost of someone who's still alive, because that's a thing.
Excuse me for being surprised at seeing someone walking on the water. You do know that people can't generally walk on water, although maybe that explains why you packed in fishing. You don't really seem to understand how water actually works.
You're Andrew. Sorry, you have a second line. Ouch! Peter's a good fisherman, and you know it.
Okay, fine, that was unnecessary. Maybe we shouldn't realise it was just Jesus walking the water. But none of us did what you did next, did we?
I may have bitten off more than I could chew.
A little more. You went nuts. You said to Jesus walking on the water, "Hey, my turn, Lord, tell me to come to you on the water." What a bizarre reaction. When Jesus changed water into wine, do you think I should be able to do that? Pass me a jug.
You say that, but I did actually walk on water.
And how did that go? After a few steps, you saw the wind and the waves and...
Fine, yeah, yak it up. But just bear in mind that someone here walked on water. Which one of us was that? Was it John, the disciple whom Jesus loves? Or me, Simon Peter, the idiot fisherman? You know what? They might even sing a song about me. Simon Peter walks on water. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
They won't sing that about you.
They might.
You sang and you didn't just sing, you cried out, "Lord, save me." It was, well, a bit pathetic. I didn't know where to look.
I did. I nearly watched you drown. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a low point, but one of us thought Jesus was a ghost, and one of us walked on water. So which disciple looks more stupid?
I'm not playing this game.
Because you lost.
Lord, save me.
Look, a ghost!
Shut up.
Shut up.
This is not the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
You did great, Annie. I love this story most of all, I think, because first of all, Jesus did so much in front of 20,000 people, basically, and then walked on water in front of his disciples. I mean, to me, this totally shows that nothing is impossible. But it also shows that I think sometimes, whenever we have a big problem, maybe we should be a bit more like Peter. And rather than just sticking to what we believe we can do ourselves, actually being that brave and saying, "Lord, just say and I'll come out. Just say and I will face my problem. Just say and I will do that thing that really scares me. Just be with me and I can do whatever it is you ask of me." Because God will call us all and we are the people who will help. I think we should do a prayer. Okay? And I have someone, I'm actually to send the Lord's Prayer, but you do the prayer first to close up today.
Do I do your
Oh, sorry, and I forgot this.
Yeah.
A minute. Could you tell people to get ready for a song prayer? Announce it. We can say that a bit louder, can't we? Right, stand on the chair and announce that we are doing the song prayer. Do that type of voice. Go. Shout. He can stand on it. Yes, go on, he can stand on it. Stand on the chair and shout. Shout. Get ready for the song prayer.
Get ready for the song.
I think that was loud enough. Do you think that's loud enough? Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Put your hands out. You ready?
Yeah.
And we do it once with our free singing and once in silence with just using our hands. Let's go. Jesus, Jesus, here I am. Jesus, Jesus, take my hand. You give to everyone a love that won't end. Thank you, Jesus, you're my friend. Oh, don't! I'm being really bad today. And we go.
Cool. So we'll close with the Lord's Prayer. We'll say together, And then we've got one final song, which is not a stand-up, dancey, bouncy song you'll all be relieved to hear. And then we'll just chill and chat and go back into picnic. Well,
Yeah.
picnic.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a good picnic. Who agrees this is a good picnic? It's a great picnic. We like our picnic.
But there's no blanket.
It's an indoor picnic. It's an indoor picnic.
Special indoor party.
So it's on the screen and it's in your books. Well done. Yay! It's on the screen, it's in your books. We'll take it all together and then we'll do one final song. So it's now. So all together. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. Okay, I'll play the final song. Feel free to sing along if you know it, but if not, back to picnic mode.
Back to picnic mode. Go.